What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today I'm at Star Fisheries down in the south of the UK, and in today's video we're going to be selecting between two Oranda and which one I'm potentially going to be taking home to the Goldfish Mega Tank. So let's head over to the pond and let's check them out. So you may have seen in the last video we had a close look at some Ranchu, Demi-Kin and some Oranda. Now those two Oranda in the last video, if you haven't checked it out, I'll put a little link up in the corner of the video, but those two fish really stood out to me and I absolutely love them. So in today's video we're going to have an even closer look at them and we're going to decide which one I would take home and which one we may potentially be putting into the Goldfish Mega Tank. So hopefully you can see behind me I've got the Japanese floating basket set up in the pond and we have both fish in the pond. Now if you didn't see the last video, we have a short tail, short body, black Oranda, and we also have a calico tricolour, bit of a difficult one to tell, Oranda as well, more of a longer body and a longer tail. Now we're going to have a close look at them now and we're going to put them into the viewing tank, look at the pros and cons of each fish and try and work out which one I would like to take into the Goldfish Mega Tank. And maybe at the end of this video you will find out if I decide to purchase them or not. So let's have a close look at them now and see what you think.
A few moments later.
So as you can see, here are the two Oranda. The first one is a large, really large body and a large tail Oranda. Not quite sure, I would normally class this as a red and white, but because it's got all that black on it, it's moving towards a tricolour, but it's not as metallic as I would generally see on a tricolour. A lovely wen, really nice bubbly wen to this fish, really good quality back curve. We've got a nice split in the caudal fin, we've got really nice deportment of the fins as well, and it holds itself really well in the water. Now we've also got this real short body, short tail Oranda. Just check out how small that cute little tail is. A really nice wen shape and a really good back curve to this fish as well. A lovely quality fish. Just check out the back curve on this fish. We've got also double anal fins on this fish and all fins are present. Really nice even colour throughout the fish. Really, really good quality. So I'm going to put both of these fish into the viewing tank. We can have a close look at them and then we can work out the positives and negatives of each of these two fish and really be as critical as possible. Now hopefully you can pick something up from this video and maybe look at when you're selecting your own fish from your own goldfish dealer or your goldfish breeder, and hopefully apply some of these techniques that I like to use when selecting fish to go into the Goldfish Mega Tank. So without further ado, let's get these fish into the viewing tank and let's have a close look at them. As you can see now, we have both fish in the viewing tank, so let's be as critical as possible on these fish and let's really pick them apart. Now obviously both of these fish are very high quality examples of the Oranda fancy goldfish, but in today's video I really want to look as closely as possible at each fish and really depict out which is the better fish and which is the fish that's most suitable for me. So first up, as you can see, we have this really large bodied Oranda. I would say this is pushing on around 7 inches in size. Now the first thing I really like to look at is the body shape. Now I really like the body shape of this fish. We have no imperfections on the back. We have a really nice thick set back, a good strong peduncle which leads into the caudal fin, which sits quite nicely. It's not too drooped down. The fish holds that caudal fin really well in the water, and then going towards the bottom half of the fish we have a really nice tummy area. We've got no sort of standout points. It's a nice smooth curve all the way down. Now all of the fins, the pectoral fins, the ventral fins, the anal fins are all nicely set on this fish. The only one point I can see is we have a slight break in the leading ray of the dorsal fin. Now that is very hard to pick up, especially if you're looking from the top down, but I can see on this fish we have a slight break, but this would definitely heal in time in the right environment, and it's not something I'm too concerned about, but definitely something to look for when selecting fish. Moving on to the wen shape, I really like the wen area under the chin, onto the cheek area, and also on top. We've got really nice bubbles to this wen as well, really nice large vesicles, and then around the eye area it is still nice and open so the fish can see. The fish has good visibility as well. Also, the colour is nice and uniformed throughout, but when selecting fish like this, I need to make sure that this fish is probably going to change, and I need to make sure that you guys at home know that as well. Now, this black colour is likely to completely vanish, and this fish is likely just going to turn into an orange fish. So that's definitely something you need to consider when selecting your fancy goldfish. And the colours do change on these fish. However, this fish is quite old, so the colours may be a little bit more stable, potentially, but I would say in a different environment and to what this fish is used to, it may change as the fish gets older. Now, the only other thing you can see on the caudal fin just here, we have a little bit of a bend in the ray, which is one other slight negative about this fish. You can see we've got a slight bend towards the bottom here, but overall I would say a very high quality fish, a real nice standout fish, definitely a fish that I would add personally to my fish tank at home. But let's take a look at the second fish in the tank. Once again, really nice body shape. We've got really nice rounded shape. Obviously, this is a different style of Oranda. As you can see, the small mini tail we've got going on and the really compact and heightened body of this fish. Different fish overall, and I would say command different judging standards as well. I really like the wen shape to this fish. We've got a really nice fin deportment, and all of the rays on this fish are intact and present, which is good to see. So there is not any negatives I would say about the fins. The dorsal fin is held really nicely on the fish. It is a nice size in comparison to the other fins, and I would say, although the caudal fin is very small to this fish, this is kind of proportionate to this style and this variety. We've got both anal fins present, and there is no kinks or deformities in there, which is very common in large high quality fish. So that's another thing to potentially consider. He's just heading around the back of the tank now, so let's sort of try and bring him to the front. You may notice we got some white patches on the wen, which is just normal wen growth, nothing to worry about. And you can see we've got this sort of band of colour here. Now, potentially many months ago, this fish may have damaged itself or knocked itself, and that may have knocked a few scales or had a little impact on the colour, but I'm not fussed about this at all. It's so slight, and the likelihood of it returning to black is quite strong. So I can't see any unusual or problematic bits with this fish. Both fish sit quite nicely in the water. None are floating to the top or sinking to the bottom. Obviously, when selecting a fish on swimming pattern, you shouldn't determine that in a small viewing tank, because it is very hard to see a good swimming pattern in a small viewing tank like this. But I can see just straight off the eye there is no big head tilting going on, and there is no buoyancy issues at all. So both of these fish are very nice qualities. Which one would you choose for your tank, or maybe you wouldn't choose any of them? But let me know down in that comment section. But I'm going to head home now from Star Fisheries, and in just a moment you'll find out which fish I decided to take, or maybe I didn't decide to take either fish. But time to hit the road, and I'll catch you when I get home. So I am now back from Star Fisheries, did the drive home, and next to me we have a box. I would lift it up, but it is quite heavy. So shall we check out what's in the box, or should we wait until the next episode to reveal what fish I decided to choose, or maybe I even chose something slightly different? But that is it for today's video. Unfortunately, you're not going to find out which fish I chose until the next episode. Let me know what guesses you've got down below. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.